Welcome to the ED Post Sports Chat. I'm Drew Rubenstein, joined by Justin Jackson. And Justin, you're getting ready to go on the road as WVU enters a pretty crucial four-game stretch, first real trying stretch of the season. But let's kind of start just by kind of taking a peek back at Monday's game against Loyola.
Yeah.
What definitively can you say about the Mountaineers at this point of the season?
Well, I think the one thing that you can say about this team is that they are still searching for themselves. I mean, if you go back to last week, I mean, they played well, hung in against Wisconsin, which is now number 8 in the country, and twice in the second half they were within 4 points. And if you look back at last year's results, I mean, and fast forward to this year and say, okay, you're going to take a lot of these same players and you're going to be in that game against Wisconsin, I think a lot of people would accept that. Fast forward now a week later and to see them roll against Loyola, I think this team is still searching for its identity. It might not be a top 10 team per se, but it also isn't anywhere near what they were last year. So it's somewhere in between. Like you said, they have some big games coming up this week, so you'll learn more about them in the weeks to come.
I think you're probably right. At this point, they look to pass the eye test in terms of comparing them to last year. They're certainly better than that 13-19 bunch. Yeah. And I guess the one thing that I wanted to ask you too is kind of coming out of the Wisconsin game and going into this week. Rebounding and free throws were the two things that Huggins stressed. They didn't do either very well against Wisconsin and hadn't really done either well in a lot of games early on. Yeah. And then they come out against Loyola and set a record in quite some time rebounding and shoot well free throws. So which one's the anomaly, or what does that say about this team?
Generally when you're at one end of the spectrum one game and one end of the spectrum the other game, the truth is somewhere in the middle. I mean, is West Virginia are they going to go out and shoot 85% from the free throw line every game? No. Are they going to go out and shoot 6 of 14 every game? No. I mean, there's somewhere in the 70, 72, 75%. I think ideally is what you can expect from this team, depending on who gets to the line. If it's Staten and Harris that continue to get to the line, which has generally been the case, this will be a good free throw shooting team. As far as rebounding, Kevin Nareen may have said it best the other day. They have the potential to be a good rebounding team, but as of right now, they're not where they want to be. Even though they grabbed the 62 rebounds against Loyola, they're certainly not going to grab 62 against the Missouris and the Baylors and the Oklahoma States that they'll face later on. So generally, they're still a team somewhere in between maybe their last two performances and then finding out where they're going to be later on in the year.
You're getting ready to travel. Before Christmas, WVU's got Missouri, Gonzaga, Marshall, and Purdue. 4-game stretch that really, I think, will give us an indication just how much better this team is than last year's. What are you most anticipating, or what do you think this 4-game stretch will reveal, or what are you most looking forward to out of this stretch here?
I think what I'm looking forward to the most, is consistency. Just play well from one game to the next. The strong play that you showed against Loyola, the strong play that you showed in stretches against Wisconsin. Do that against Missouri. Do it against Marshall. Do it against Gonzaga. If you can play well from one game to the next, I think that's the best mark of any team. That if you can say, okay, that's a good team. Well, consistency from night in and night out, I think, is what makes a team good or not so good if you're not consistent.
On a personal level, one player that you've written about that's searching for that consistency and seems like he's maybe finding it is Aaron Harris. Yeah. Always when he's hot, you knew the kind of player he is. Is he showing signs, though, of becoming a more complete player, a more well-rounded player who can do things even when the touch isn't there?
Yeah, Aaron's, towards the end of his freshman year last year, was showing that kind of shooting range and shooting touch. He's obviously has shown it early on in this season. He's leading the team in scoring. He's had some cold stretches. I think the thing with Aaron is he's becoming more mature, really, more than anything else, and he's learning to deal with shooting slumps and things that may not go his way, and he's fighting through it. He's working through it. He's becoming a better player and more of a leader because of it.
last one, the other leader that it seems like we're hearing a lot about, and you've written about him, and kind of the versatility that he presents is Jawan Staten. And does this team really kind of go depending on how Jawan is night in and night out? Is that where it starts?
Yeah, I mean, Jawan's the guy who's got the ball in his hands, and really more than anyone. If you look at what they did last year, and then you look at the numbers of what they did this year. I mean, I think even more so than Aaron, Jawan's numbers stand out. I mean, he's got 9 turnovers in the first 7 games, and I mean, he's just playing. His shooting numbers are way up. His scoring numbers are up. His rebounding numbers are up. Jawan's the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands, and if WVU is going to be competitive in February and March, it's going to Jawan's numbers are going to have to remain where they are now. So yeah, when you look at what he's done, it's been I mean, he's been solid. I mean, it's been very good.
All right, very good, Justin. Appreciate it, and we'll Thursday's games at Missouri should be an interesting one. Appreciate your time once again. Please continue to check theedpost.com for the latest on the Mountaineers. Thanks for watching today.